So here we are, back again for yet another fan showdown. You guys said you couldn't get enough, so here is me testing that comment. Also, the chip shortage is, wow. It could be like a year or more before we do any more PC builds on the channel. I just got no GPUs. But no worries, we don't need any chips to test more of your fan designs. And the amount that you guys have sent me, I could make this series daily till like the heat death of the universe. So we better get cracking.
Today's video is sponsored by Antec. Are you looking for a case with great ventilation for your next PC build? Might I recommend the DF700 Flux from Antec. The DF700 Flux is a mid-tower gaming case that comes well equipped and has tons of ventilation. That front panel there, yeah, that's all mesh. Not only that, but the DF700 Flux comes with 5 fans, 3 of which are RGB, and 1 is even a reverse fan to make sure that your GPU is never choked for air. Equipped with a tempered glass side panel, built-in LED and PWM fan controller, this case has space for any type of build that you plan, air or water. And not only that, it'll look good doing it. So check the link in the description below to pick up a DF700 Flux for your next build, and thank you to Antec for sponsoring this video.
But before that, we should probably answer one thing that I seen came up a whole bunch after last video. And if you didn't see last video, it was about this beauty. This is the tick-tock clock fan, and it was made by old big brain Kyle, and this thing's outstanding. For real, if you didn't see that video, you should probably go check it out after this one, but definitely worth a watch. It was fascinating. Now, while reading through the comments on that video, I did notice that one comment kind of popped up more than once, and that question was, did the RPM increase after running the fan for 20 minutes on the stress test? That's a good question. You got me thinking, so we're gonna find out. Yeah, it did. After running 20 minutes of the IDA64 stress test, if you remember, the original RPM that this ran was 1400, but after basically running in the fan, it now runs much smoother and quicker at 1,672 RPM. And also, on a final side note, if you think that you can top or one-up the tick-tock clock fan, I do invite you to put on your thinking cap, if you remember that saying from back in the day. Get subscribed and send over whatever kind of crazy big brain idea you have to the fanshowdown@gmail.com. And I will say, after seeing this masterpiece, I find myself browsing through the submissions at work on lunch way more than I ever used to, just trying to make sure that nothing fantastic slips through the crack. And if it's something mind-melting enough, I'll print it out and we'll make another special. Okay, that's enough rambling. I honestly feel dirty for saying get subscribed, but well, speaking of the tick-tock clock fan, if you remember how loud it was when we were running all those tests, you'll know that it was one of the loudest fans that I have ever tested on the Fan Showdown, and I say was because if Tebow has anything to say about that, he plans to make my ears bleed after 20 minutes of testing his creation. So this is the MERMAID SYMPHONY, and it was created by, like I said, Tebow. And first off, let's get one thing straight. It's clear you're going for sound first and cooling second in that order, because this is a siren all day long. Tebow, let's take a minute to think about what you've done here. You've taken one of the most well-known, high-performance, quiet, cooling fans on the market, and you've totally ruined it, and I love it. I guess I shouldn't say ruined, because it still might perform well, but I can almost guarantee that it's not going to be quiet anymore. I've been down this road before. I kind of know where it leads, and that's tinnitus. And don't worry, Tebow knows this. He even said, this is my version of hopefully a really loud fan. My goal is to design a siren with maybe a tiny bit of cooling performance. Also, the best part is he even included some disclaimers at the bottom of his email saying, cooling performance, not guaranteed. Untested product, could cause hearing damage and severe mental disorder. Most likely a great disappointment for unmatched expectations. Oh joy. Well, from ear-shattering sadness to mesmerizing joy, here comes Ben with his fan, Snowflake. Pretty good, huh? He kind of nailed it on the design, if I do say so myself. With this beauty, Ben wrote, my generation is often called snowflakes. Hopefully proving that snowflakes are great fans will go some way in improving our reputation. Can't fault you for trying. I think I'm just curious if I'm in that generation? Well, from one disturbance to another, here's Chris and his fan, Turbulence. He also went ahead and titled his email, not a meme fan, just to make sure. Now, the Turbulence might look like a standard run-of-the-mill fan that we've seen many times on the Fan Showdown, but if you look closer, this is something we haven't seen before. And probably for good reason, but that being said, you don't know it doesn't work if you don't try it. Now at the center of the fan, the blades are pretty standard for the direction that the A12X25 spins. But if you look around the ring, you may notice something different. There's actually 2 rings, and between those 2 rings is another set of fan blades, and those blades are designed to push the air rather than pull it. And if you're still a bit confused, don't worry, Chris included a graphic to help illustrate, so boom. Also, there's a method to Chris's madness. He actually gave me 3 reasons why this might work, but my favorite is number 1. By creating a small air current angled outward on the outside of the fan, I hope to create an impenetrable wall that the smoke cannot pass. Chris has seen the smoke test, and he says no. Not on my watch. So who will win, the Halloween fog machine or the turbulent fan? Now last on the docket today is another new, never seen before idea. This is the skeleton, and it was created by Archer, and what he's done is pretty interesting. He's moved the fan hub from the center to the midpoint of the fan disc. He did this, he said, to maximize airflow to the hub. He also incorporated 2 sets of fan blades. One set sweeps backwards, and the other sweeps forwards. Also, as a bonus, the skeleton was like super easy to print, which I do appreciate. In the sound department, the skeleton came in at 46.3 dBA. The Snowflake came in at 45.7 dBA. The Turbulence came in at 49.6 dBA. And the Mermaid Symphony came in with an ear-shattering 87.5 dBA. Meaning that Tebow was successful in his endeavors. His goal of creating the loudest fan to date was founded. Problem for me is I still have to listen to it for 20 minutes, and it's gonna be a nightmare. But before that, let's see how all these guys, especially the Turbulence, fare in the smoke test. Can it create the wall that it speaks of to block all the smoke? Well, in the end, Halloween Fog Machine 1, Turbulence 0. But that being said, if you look really closely at the smoke machine footage or the fog machine footage, you will see that at the edge of this fan, the air is actually moving outward like Chris had planned, but just not enough of it to make the wall that he wanted. When it comes to cooling, the Turbulence came in with an average temperature of 78.8 at a room temperature of 18.9, giving us a delta of 59.9. The Mermaid Symphony was a horrible experience for 20 minutes, But it did manage to keep the system under control, coming in with an average temperature of 86.6 at a room temperature of 18.6, giving us a delta of 68. The Snowflake came in with an average temperature of 76 at a room temperature of 18.9, giving us a delta of 57.1. And the Skeleton came in with an average temperature of 75.5 at a room temperature of 19.1, giving us a delta of 56.4. Putting the Skeleton in first place, the Snowflake in second place, the Turbulence in third, and the MERMAID Symphony in fourth. But you know what's even better is that although the MERMAID Symphony obviously didn't do very well in the performance, it nailed the sound test, but it's not last overall. It actually finished 52nd, which isn't good, but that's not last. And again, as always, thank all of you for watching this video. Thank you even more if you've sent me a fan design to test for upcoming episodes. It's just a lot of fun. Other than listening to that, it's a lot of fun. And if you want to get in on the action, make sure to, again, subscribe to the channel. Head over to my Thingiverse page to get the required dimensions for your fan design, and then send me at least an STL file to thefanshowdown@gmail.com. You can do whatever you want. You can go for loudest fan ever, best performance you can think of, crazy wacky design. Turn this thing into a fan. I've seen you guys say millions of times, you want to see this vase as a fan. I bet one of you could do it.